10 viruses that actually help humankind. Virus. The word is generally met with dread, and naturally so. These minute assortments of natural synthetic compounds have been liable for endless instances of death and affliction. The actual notice of a lethal viral pandemic can send whole areas, urban communities, or even geographic zones into a condition of sheer, furious frenzy. Infections are undetectable to the unaided eye, and they exist wherever on Earth. They can contaminate parasites, plants, creatures, and indeed, people. A few groups have even guessed that infections could represent a grave danger to the fate of humankind. Be that as it may, not all infections are terrible. Truth be told, as we study them, we are finding that some infections are quite advantageous. They have helped us in manners that we didn't understand from the start, and others present intriguing yet certain opportunities for our future. Number 10. Bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are infections that taint microscopic organisms. They are found all over the place, in soil, in water, and surprisingly in the human body, generally in our gut and mucus. They were initially found in 1915 by Frederick Tart and have since gotten moderately renowned in the field of microbiology as a restorative apparatus to help control bacterial diseases. While phage treatment is as yet a work in progress, it is conceivable that it very well may be utilized in a few distinct applications. It has effectively been utilized to treat some various sorts of diseases, and it shows incredible guarantee for the therapy of conditions going from cystic fibrosis to malignancy. Some say that in our period of antitoxin-safe microscopic organisms, phage treatment additionally offers a practical swap for customary anti-infection agents. Number 9. There is a virus that gives plants extreme heat resistance. Tropical frenzy grass has consistently could develop in soil with an abnormally high temperature. Specialists have since found that the reason behind this remarkable capacity is by all accounts an infection. A contagious endophyte develops on this grass, and an infection that contaminates this organism is by all accounts the wellspring of this warmth-safe force. Considerably really intriguing, researchers connected the infection to different plants, giving them a similar capacity. The specialists even figured out how to develop tomatoes in soil as hot as 680 degrees Celsius, 140 degrees Fahrenheit, without murdering them. In any case, what occurs on the off chance that you eliminate the infection? They found that plants restored of the infection lost the capacity to fill an outrageous warmth. Perhaps that is the manner by which the Human Torch does it. Number 8. Vesicular stomatitis virus. Vesicular stomatitis infection, VSV, is an infectious sickness that is most popular for burdening ponies, in spite of the fact that it can likewise contaminate different creatures and even people. It isn't normally lethal or even especially risky for people, however it can cause influenza-like manifestations. A few groups even create rankles in their mouths because of the infection, which is normally communicated to people through ponies. However, this infection has additionally stood out as truly newsworthy for its utilization in oncolytic infection, OV, treatment. Indeed, VSV has shown guarantee as an arising anti-cancer therapy. Clearly, one reason that this infection is a solid match for OV treatment is on the grounds that it is not pathogenic to people. Who might have imagined that an infection that caused mouth ulcers in ponies would be the wellspring of an earth-shattering new malignancy treatment? Number 7. Adenoviruses. Adenoviruses are a gathering of genuinely normal infections. They are incredibly infectious, typically cause just gentle manifestations, and by and large disappear inside a couple of days. Some of them are quite notable. Bronchitis, pneumonia, many stomach diseases, colds, croup, and even meningitis would all be able to be found inside the adenovirus family. However, analysts have additionally discovered that one specific strain of the infection, type 52, HAD52, ties to a specific kind of carb found in malignant growth cells. This makes some fascinating opportunities for infection-based disease treatment. There is clearly more concentrating to be finished. In any case, later on, researchers could possibly arm infections with qualities to help battle malignancy. They may likewise have the option to utilize infections to enact the body's own insusceptible framework to battle the actual malignancy. Number 6. Norovirus. Virologists have gotten particularly inspired by noroviruses. These specific miniature living things are notable for their capacity to cause plagues of the runs on journey ships. They are additionally scandalous for their capacity to assault lab mice provinces with sickness. However, things being what they are, a few strains of the infection have demonstrated valuable particularly for their job in assisting with normalizing mice that have filled in sterile conditions. These mice don't make sufficient T cells, which harms their gut microbes and insusceptible reaction. To fix the issue, specialists have shown that offering microscopic organisms to the mice can serve to rebalance their invulnerable cells. However, including a norovirus along with the blend can really take care of a similar issue. Scientists likewise tracked down that some norovirus strains reduced the impacts of microbes that normally cause weight reduction, the runs, and other related indications in mice. This makes for an energizing revelation as scientists uncover better approaches to utilize infections for great. Giving strains of the norovirus to people to treat different infections would be viewed as exceptionally disputable, yet much proof says that it could really help. Number 5. Ancient retroviruses. Ancient retroviruses might be the explanation that we don't lay eggs. Researchers presently can't seem to disentangle the whole part that antiquated retroviruses have played in human turn of events. Be that as it may, some of them, in fact alluded to as endogenous retroviruses, are accepted to have helped in the advancement of the placenta in vertebrates. To place it in really straightforward terms, a few researchers accept that a crude human progenitor got an endogenous retrovirus that caused changes in the hereditary code. This at last prompted vertebrates being able to do live birth. The arrangement of the placenta was a tremendous advance in the transformative interaction since it permitted well-evolved creatures to bring forth live youthfulness. In any case, when you investigate the connection between a mother and a hatchling, it isn't astonishing that it shares a considerable lot of similar qualities you would hope to find in the connection between a host and a parasite. The work is continuous. Yet, don't be astounded on the off chance that we find some time or another that the explanation human females bring forth live children as opposed to laying eggs is because of an antiquated infection that modified our DNA. Number 4. Gamma herpes viruses. This one is genuinely specialized, yet it is no less astounding. The gamma herpes virinae is actually a subfamily of herpes viruses that incorporates a few distinctive infections. There are really various sorts of herpes infections, with the most popular models likely being herpes simplex infection type 1 and herpes simplex infection type 2, which cause mouth blisters and genital herpes. Incidentally, inert disease with one sort of gamma herpes virus, type MHV68, has appeared to build protection from contamination with Listeria monocytogenes, the microorganisms most popular for food contamination. Who might have believed that herpes could assist with battling food contamination? Number 3. Cowpox. This story really starts with a risky infection called smallpox. No one is certain where it came from. However, it is accepted that even as right on time as the 3rd century BC, it was tormenting the Egyptian domain. Records of it have been found in China from the 4th century, and it has fundamentally shown up wherever since. It was a staggering illness that murdered around 30% of contaminated individuals. Indeed, even the individuals who endure were frequently left with horrible scars because of the difficulty. Be that as it may, in 1796, an English specialist named Edward Jenner made a revelation. He saw that milkmaids tended not to contract smallpox as frequently as every other person. Before long, he understood that a comparable infection called cowpox regularly spread from cows to the milkmaids and may have had something to do with it. He tried his hypothesis by vaccinating a kid with material from a cowpox sore and afterward presenting him to smallpox. Despite the fact that it might seem like a stunning investigation, it was really effective. This prompted the act of inoculation that wound up killing the smallpox infection 2 centuries later. Number 2. GBVC. HIV is presumably quite possibly the most unnerving and scandalous infections of the 21st century. By and by, another infection, GBVC, has been standing out enough to be noticed from researchers for its impact on the individuals who are HIV positive. GBVC is an individual from the Flaviviridae group of infections and can likewise be alluded to as hepatitis G. The fascinating part of this infection is its impact on the movement of HIV. To lay it out plainly, individuals who have both HIV and GBVC will in general show a more slow movement to AIDS and improved chances of endurance, which is quite stunning. Who might have envisioned that the presence of another infection might actually hinder an infection as perilous as HIV? Number 1. The ARC gene. Did you realize that human awareness may have initially been brought about by an infection? Indeed, it is conceivable, and here is the reason. Analysts accept that an infection appended itself to the genome of one of our precursors sometime in the past, most likely even before we strolled on two legs. Yet, they likewise accept that a smidgen of the hereditary coding contained inside the infection actually exists inside our minds today and might be answerable for some genuine mental aptitude, including awareness itself. The ARC quality is fundamental for the learning interaction in people. Abnormally, it imparts by sending hereditary material starting with one neuron then on to the next, utilizing an interaction that is ordinarily seen in infections. Further examination should be done to decide precisely what this implies. In any case, at this moment, it looks like it is entirely conceivable that we acquired our capacity to take in and structure cognizant considerations from the hereditary material of some antiquated mind infection. Indeed, the universe is unquestionably a strange and puzzling spot,